Hi. I made a video recently giving my perspective on how things are going with the 2020-2021 school year and how this teacher's feeling. The whole purpose of me making that video was just so I could kind of get it out of my head and put a voice to the things that are going on in my mind. I didn't introduce myself, so I apologize for that. My name is Minette Guillory. I've been teaching since 1992. I've taught everything from 4th grade to 7th grade and all the different subject areas. At some point in time, I've also taught PE for a dozen years. I've had a lot of opportunities to be around students in a lot of different facets of education. I did not become an administrator. I chose to remain teaching so that I could work with students. I currently teach ESL. So in our district, the way it works is an ESL teacher supports students who have another language spoken at home, but are in the English speaking classrooms. So we go in kind of as an extra support layer for them, and we go into the classrooms. I personally work with grades K through 2, and I go into the classrooms to support the students who need me the most, who are ESL students. And so that's going to put me in about 6 to 8 classrooms a day, with classrooms between 20 to 25 students. And I won't have a plexiglass barrier at a table. I will need to sit right next to the students that I work with, because the teacher is leading the class and I'm just there to support them. I can't support them from a distance. I have to be there with them. And as far as I know, at this point in time, students under the age of 10 won't be wearing masks. So I'm going to have to sit with my student or students, and they won't have a mask on. So I have a couple of choices there. I can wear a mask, and I intend to. I could even wear a face shield, and I have purchased some. What is that going to be like for my student who's sitting right there and I'm trying to help them, and they have this face shield next to them trying to talk quietly to them? What does that look like for them? Has anyone given any of that any thought? So here's some of the things that some of the things I'm going to say I did mention in my other video, and I've thought of some other points that I left out because I did get emotional. I have thin skin, I cry easily, and I care. So those might be negative traits in some people's eyes. I know that crying seems weak, but I'm sorry, call me weak. This stuff is affecting me emotionally. My anxiety is sky high. Depression is something that is just a norm, but none of this is helping my anxiety. As I mentioned before, my family, my teenage son, and my husband and I, we have been following the recommendations that have been set forth to not just protect ourselves, but to help make a difference in fighting this and fixing this and getting this taken care of the best that we can until a vaccine or some remedy is whipped up. We've been doing this because we care not just about ourselves, but about our families and our community and our country. We care about other people too, and we're doing all this to help each other. Why, after 9/11 and wildfires and floods and tornadoes and terrorists, we've always come together as a country and shown our pride in our country. Why can't we do that now? Why do we have to look at this as I'm not willing to put on a mask because I don't want to be told what to do? That might be one reason. I don't believe it's as dangerous as other people think it is. Okay, but let's say it's not as dangerous as we think it is. Is there any harm in just being cautious? I mean, we do other things just to be cautious. We watch our speed, we stop at stop signs, we wear seat belts. Isn't, don't get me started. Just let's help each other out. It shouldn't really be that hard. Don't take it so personally, like it's an attack on you or your right. Maybe think of it from a different point of view as, what can I do to help us get this country back to whatever normal is going to look like? And I know that teaching from home isn't my ideal way of teaching. And I know that a lot of parents who are struggling either to keep a job or to be without a job, and they're all those stresses, and you're still managing your child's education. I can't tell you how much teachers appreciate what you do at home. We've appreciated you for years. It has nothing to do with this, but we sure appreciate that you're stepping up and helping to supervise the education of your child. Teachers are doing that too. We've never quit doing that. We had to do it virtually on the fly and kind of figure it out as we went. But now that things have kind of been figured out a little bit better, just err on the side of caution and let us teach and stay safe. Let your child learn and stay safe. I just want us all to work together. I mean, why have my family and I been going without restaurants? We do takeout. Why have we been isolating ourselves from friends unless we are outside far away from them? Why are we wearing masks? Why have we been getting our groceries delivered? Why have we, as like in our home business, or not home business, but private business of car transports, why have we been wearing a mask and wiping down all these cars and doing all these safety precautions and not being around other people? Why have we been doing all this if we're just going to be sent into a dangerous situation anyway? And I know I can't be the only one feeling this way. Can you imagine how exhausted the medical professionals are? What does that feel like for them? How disrespectful is that for them to go in and risk their lives to care for people who have come down with this virus, and we on the outside of the hospital don't do anything to support their efforts by just being careful? Why? Why aren't we helping each other? Show some respect for all the people who have been able to keep their jobs at the grocery store or at the restaurants doing takeout, the delivery people who are bringing things to your house so that you don't have to go to the store, the police, the fire, the EMS, the doctors, the nurses, everybody, car transporters, everybody that has kept this country going, trying their best to keep it as normal as possible so that some people can just continue to live their lives freely like nothing's going on. Is that the kind of country we live in? Is that the kind of person you are? Don't be one of them. Step outside yourself and think about other people, because now what's happening is we have all these students who want to be at school, and a lot of them who really desperately need to be at school, but we haven't done anything to improve the health and safety in our country. Why have I been trying my best to be safe and doing without things? Especially, I wasn't able to be at the hospital when my granddaughter was born. And when she was brought home, I had to wear a mask and gloves. I'm sorry, that's my first grandbaby. That's my daughter's first child. Why did my daughter confine herself during her pregnancy and go without baby showers and do them virtually? Why? Why are some of us making so many sacrifices? And I'm not alone. And I'm sure there are people who are sacrificing more than I am. But why? If we're not going to make any progress? Why? If I'm going to be sent back into a school building around students who don't have a mask, who might even come from homes where people don't wear masks, why am I being exposed to this virus unnecessarily? Why can't we teach virtually until it's safe for the teachers, the staff, the students to be in a school building? Are teachers disposable? We're people too. We're moms, we're dads, we're grandmas, we're grandpas, we're aunts, we're uncles, we're siblings. We have children. Let us do our job in a safe way. Please don't take it out on teachers that you're unhappy with the way the learning should be happening in a safe way. Don't take that out on teachers. We didn't create this situation. We're trying to make the best of it that we can. But we have every right to be safe, just like you. Don't put us in a situation where we already face the threat of active shooters and would jump in front of a bullet to save your child. Don't put us in a building where we will be exposed to something that could very likely kill us. Don't do that to us. Let us be safe, just like you have that right. And look, I know there are people out there who are exposed to it too. I mentioned them. I have all the respect for those people on the front line. Teachers aren't meant to be on the front line. We're meant to educate. We're meant to keep our students safe, and we can't do that if we're not safe. It's the whole mask from the airplane thing. We have to be safe, or we can't provide that for our students. I'm sorry, but how's that going to work if we do get sick? So we're required to be, if we're exposed, we're required to be out for 2 weeks. That's all our sick leave for the entire year. So after that, every day that we're out, that's our daily wage. So now you're affecting our income, our health. If we are exposed and need medical attention, now you're affecting our finances because we've lost wages and we'll be in the hospital. And I've heard of people who come out and survive, the lucky ones, they come out and survive and have a $500,000 medical bill to pay. Do you think teachers can afford that? No, we can't. Our insurance sucks to begin with, sorry, but it does. And then to have a bill like that, if we survive, and our lost wages, that affects our income for the rest of our lives because when we get to retire, we have to base our retirement on our income. So if our income drops, so does our retirement. I think these are things that maybe some people don't know, Or maybe you do, and it just doesn't really matter because it's not you. I don't know. But these are all things to take into consideration. I mean, if a teacher's out because they were exposed, who's going to cover their class? Do you think a substitute who is either young, fresh out of college, and might have like young ones at home, do you think they want to come in and cover and expose themselves? I don't think so. Do you think somebody who's a retired teacher and subbing for extra income, do you think somebody who's that old wants to come in and expose themselves? I don't think so. There's already a teacher shortage. There's already a substitute shortage. Now what happens if no sub comes in? Well, sometimes we, the support teachers, go in and sub, which means the students that need us, they're not getting what they need because we're covering a class or a room that didn't get a sub. Is that the teacher's fault? No. What happens if just nobody's available? So they put two classes together and one teacher watches both classes? I'm sorry, but if you can't social distance with 20 to 25 in a room, how are you going to do it with 40 to 50? That doesn't sound like a good idea, especially in elementary where they have no masks. And in my personal point of view, one of the things that scares me the most is if something happens to me. My son, his father passed away. What happens if something happens to me? He's about to turn 16 tomorrow. He's not ready to be on his own. It scares me that he might be without a parent. Doesn't he deserve to have his mom stay safe? How about we start thinking of teachers as people and not entities? Quit. Please, I'm asking, please don't have a backlash at teachers because they want to be safe. How about use that voice to support the teachers and help the community fight this so that we can get back into the building and teach your children the way we want to. Please stop taking it out on teachers. We're not being selfish because we want to stay healthy. You want to stay healthy too. What's the difference? Teachers love students and we do everything that we can. We buy our own supplies. We don't get reimbursed. We cry with our students. We advocate for our students. All we're asking is that somebody helps advocate for us so that we can be there for them. Please help the teachers have a voice. We're being told to be back in the buildings and it's not safe. Look at the numbers. When we left for spring break and they shut us down and we didn't come back, the numbers were nowhere near what they are now. How on earth do our leaders think it's a good idea for us to get back in there now? There's no way to continuously wipe down all the surfaces that people are going to be touching and still have time to teach. I know some people aren't really familiar with, I guess, the workings of a school, but let me tell you a few things. In a school building, there's not going to be social distancing. It's not physically possible. And there aren't the funds to bring in as many teachers as we need. And even if there were the funds, where would the teachers come from? Do people realize that teachers not only get an education, bachelor's, master's, doctorates, whatever level they want to, but we have to continuously train. We're sent to trainings practically every planning period. We have to continue to get more certifications. And yet, with all the training and education that we have, nobody seems to want to listen to us about what we feel and know is going to be the best option. I didn't say ideal, best. Students aren't going to be wearing masks. We're going to be in multiple classrooms around multiple students in confined spaces. There's no social distancing. Are the students going to eat in the classroom? And now the teacher gets her, wait, does she get her lunch? Sorry, but we're professionals too. Do we deserve 30 minutes of a lunch? I would think so. And it's not going to be normal if we go back now. With everybody, all the teachers masked up saying that we can't come near the students, that's not normal. I'm beyond frustrated, but I'm asking you, I guess, for two things. One, even if you don't feel politically that you should be wearing a mask, would you please find it in your heart to do it for your community? Do unto others, right? Think about others and yourself. Do you want to get sick? Do you want to lose your life and leave your children without a parent? I'm not saying any of this is easy. I know people have lost their jobs. I know money is tight. I get it. But could you please, one thing, wear a mask? The more we wear a mask, the faster things are going to get back to normal. And then it'll be safe for us to take your children into the classroom and do what we love doing. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is please be a voice for the teachers. Please don't work against us. We spend our lives, our income, our time, our evenings, our weekends, our summers that you guys think we're all, doing nothing. There are trainings during the summer. We don't get paid for those. So the second thing I'm going to ask you to do after wear a mask, the second thing is please be a voice for the teachers, because we are always a voice for your students. Always. We're just asking for a little support so that we too can be safe. Work with us, not against us. We're here for you. We're here for your children. Please be here for us. It's not that hard. Mask, voice. When we speak, it's because we have reached a point that we need to be heard. Please hear us. Please.